Welcome back to Go Dryden. How's it going? I'm Andy McIsaac. This is Jim Shearer of the Dryden Mission. Jim, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
We are at the Dryden Mission. Jim is actually the pastor / executive director of the mission.
Okay.
And we just wanted to come to the mission to talk to this guy because he is a true local visionary. I got to tell you, Jim, you've got some big dreams for this place, and we're here to help you get some publicity to hopefully help make that dream come true.
That's really cool, Andy. Thanks. At the mission, we totally appreciate what you've done so far in helping us kind of promote what we're doing here. Exactly. No, we totally appreciate it.
Jim, maybe tell us a little bit about the background of the mission. Like, when did you decide that that was your goal to this is a huge undertaking. Like, when did you decide that this is your calling?
That would have been November 2010. I was driving home from Uppsala, and I think at that point I had just had enough of what I was doing. I was supply teaching, and not that I don't mind supply teaching. I love it when I'm called, but I just knew that my heart and my passion was here in Dryden. And so I remember coming home, and that next day I called a real estate agent, and I told a real estate agent a huge idea that I had. Mm-hmm. And they said, hey, I got just the building, and it was this building that we're in, which is 65 Van Horn. And they're going to tear it down, she said, and I'm, okay, that's my kind of building, mm-hmm. that they're going to tear down. And so I emailed the owner of the building, and I told him what I wanted to do. And at that point, it was a really, really bigger idea than what it is right now. And
still a big idea.
I know, but it was humongous then, though. It was huge. And so I told him what I wanted to do, and it was 2 months before I actually heard back from him. And so January the 19th, 2011, he called me back, and he said, Jim, I love the idea. You can have the building for a charitable receipt. And I got really, really excited. And then I found out what a charitable receipt was and how hard it was to get and what I had to do. And so we developed a board of directors, and out of 6 amazing men and women who really, they caught that vision. And I can remember going around, I did about 2 months canvassing to every single agency here in Dryden, and I met with them from 20 to a half hour, 20 minutes to a half hour, told them this humongous idea, and they all thought it was great. And I tried to find out what some of the weaknesses were within the system, where people were falling through cracks, and where I could kind of help out. Mm-hmm. And so then, at the same time, working on towards getting this building secured. We had our first drive that we did, which was a barnyard sale, if you can remember, back June the 11th, 2011. And it was a humongous yard sale. It was massive. There was so much stuff that people had brought and just to donate to the mission. They didn't even know what the mission. There wasn't even a mission. And I remember going around with my white truck with my friend Louis, and who goes by other names, and just we would go around in my truck, and we would pick up this stuff, and I would store it in people's garages and barns. And I want to thank people for letting me store it when I didn't have anywhere to store it, and they didn't know what the mission was, and they didn't know what we were doing, and I didn't really know what we were doing, and so we decided to have this barnyard sale with only donation, and so it was a very huge success. Yeah. And so then from then we did a warehouse sale the following month.
The barn to the warehouse.
Right. And we still did not have this building yet, and we were going through some, I guess, ways to be able to secure the building. And so we had the warehouse sale in July, and that was super. And then finally, August the 1st, 2011, we got the building, and we moved everything in. And then we opened on the 11th of August, and if you remember being here that opening week, there was just stuff everywhere. It was crazy, and it was just, there were so many volunteers that jumped in, and it was just amazing. And the people of Dryden brought stuff and just didn't stop bringing stuff.
And haven't yet.
They have not. And so if you've been here over the last year and a half, you've seen the evolution of the mission.
That's right.
And where we are today. And it's because of the people of the city of Dryden have believed in what we're doing. Now they kind of got an idea of where we're going. I may still very much confuse people with the big ideas, but they at least understand that, hey, some of them are possible.
That's the way you got to dream. You got to dream big.
Yeah.
And now Jim's got all kinds of neat aspirations in terms of what you can use this amazing building to do in terms of helping people as well.
Yeah, exactly. But let me say first that over the last year and a half, it's almost 2 years since we've worked toward getting the actual building. So by the end of this year, 2012, we will actually have the building in the Dryden Mission's name. We're now a registered charity within Canada, and we have a charitable registration number. Okay, so that allows people to actually donate larger sums of money where we're able to help them out with a charitable receipt for their income taxes.
That's amazing.
So, and we have a lot of businesses out there that have kind of tapped into that, which is really super cool. And an actual finance company has jumped onto that as well.
That's
a
can't hurt.
local Canada. No, a local company here in Dryden. Okay, so some of the things that actually go on. Well, the little room that we're in right now, we just call it the meeting room or the sitting room. And so throughout the day when we're open, this is used by our customers. They just come in, they help themselves to a cup of coffee. Sometimes we have some muffins that are donated, and other times we have soup or whatever, and it's just to help out our volunteers. And so, but we always have coffee and tea and some hot drinks, and in the summertime, some cool drinks. Okay, that's the times that we're open. Monday nights, this room is open for our local NA, like so that's Narcotics Anonymous, as well as AA. And it's not to take the place of any other AA group in town. It's to work alongside of them, and obviously the folks that come here to this one don't go to the others, but and so it's a necessary thing. And so AA here at the mission is on Monday nights at 6:30, and NA is at 8 o'clock, and that's on Monday nights.
That's right here in the sitting room.
It's right here, and so you just come to the front door and on Monday nights, and they'll open it up for you and let you in. So on Wednesday nights, starting in January, we will be running another, besides the AA and NA program, and it's called Celebrate Recovery. And it's a recovery program that folks want to take that next step and just discovering what it's like to be completely addiction-free. Yeah. And so that'll start on Wednesdays in January.
Cool.
Then on Thursdays in January, we will be starting, it's called a New Believers or Discipleship Group. And so that'll be Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. And that's just for people that have just maybe made a decision to follow Christ and that want to know a little bit more about who Christ is.
More research.
Exactly. And so that's on Thursday nights. So that's this little room here. What happens elsewhere, it's just a very, very busy spot. And so we are closed Sundays and Mondays. But on Mondays, it's an even busier spot because that's when the volunteers are here, and they're getting a lot of stuff done.
That's right.
And I know a lot of the folks that want to shop, they don't understand that we got to be closed when we are.
You need to just rearrange.
We got to, because the magnitude of stuff we get, we got to make it look good, or that it just doesn't look good.
Time to
yeah. So,
organize.
so that's Mondays when we totally do that. We're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 12 until 4. So we're here in the mornings. We're very willing to accept donations in the mornings as well as on Mondays. And if you come and you don't see the door open, just knock on the door and we'll gladly accept any donation that you have. And we have, it used to be 4 apartments, and so we are turning that into a men's shelter.
That's great.
And which is super amazing. And I'm just really excited. And already people have been sending men to us to be able to assist guys that are homeless. And so we've tapped into some local motels that have been willing to help us out. And so we were able to put them up in a motel, only for one night. But eventually, and we're hoping by 2014, we can open up the shelter and to be able to welcome men for a short period of time and help them get enough security
To get back up
that
on
they
their
can
feet.
get going. Exactly. And then in the garage, which is a 6-bay garage, just
It's awesome.
in the next section to us, we've actually opened it up as a mentoring mechanics. And so any day of the week, we've got volunteers who are some students and some just other young men and women who are interested in working on cars. And so we try to give them a safe place to do that under supervision and with mechanics on hand. And we help many of our seniors, and we fix their cars for them.
Jim, your heart is like this big. It's like that big. And all of the volunteers who help here as well, your hearts are this big. Jim, tell us how we can get involved in volunteering, because I know there's always, there's lots of room for people to help.
Yeah, there is no volunteer that's turned away, and just if you have a willing heart, like what you said, Andy, that you want to serve one another in love, and that's our motto, is serving one another in love, and that's from Galatians. And you got to do it in love, because if you just serve one another, it becomes a real burden. Mm-hmm. And so our volunteers, it's not easy, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that it's easy. It's hard.
It's not a cakewalk.
It's so not. It's freaking hard sometimes. So you just come in.
That makes the end product like that much more awesome.
Yeah, yeah. You just come in. You ask anybody at the front desk for a volunteer application. And we also require a criminal record check. And so regardless of the criminal record, you're not turned down or whatever. That we just have to do that. Yeah, we just have to do that. And you let us know when you're available. And then you show up for your volunteer shift.
Bring your family. Enjoy all this greatness that is the mission. Volunteer your time as well. Jim, thank you so much for having us here at the mission. And we wish you continued success, because that's all that I see in this place is success so far. And coming up next, speaking of family, we will show you, Jim will show us an amazing spot in the mission. And I think even the jolly old elf himself might even be there.
Possibly.
You never even know. Next on Go Dryden.